Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and today I'm going to be talking about how to buy a rental house. So simply put, how to buy a rental property. Now there's two ways to buy a rental property. There's my way and the traditional way. So first of all, I'm going to talk about my way. The way that I buy my rental properties is that I don't go to a bank and say, please, can I get a loan on my 10th property or 20th property or 100th property? Or can I please get a loan for to get an apartment complex? I don't do that. Okay. The Mr. No Fluff way, the way I work is that I market for motivated sellers. Once I find a motivated seller, I work directly with the homeowner and they become my lender one way or another. Now, when I find a motivated seller, usually there's two categories. One, they have a loan on their house. Two, they don't have a mortgage. They own the house free and clear. It does not matter if they have option one or option two, which is loan or no loan. I make the seller become my bank. Why would the seller want to do this? Because I put sugar on it. I incentivize them to take this action. Now, I don't force them. I don't manipulate them. I don't try to do sales tactics. I don't do any of that stuff. Okay. I know who my audience is. So when I do my marketing, I know how to find the motivated sellers. And when I find a motivated seller, I give them incentives. I educate them. I empower them. And they choose to go that option, which is being my bank, being my lender, or in this case, anyone. Two, I don't need to come up with the purchase capital. What does that mean? Well, if the house is, let's say, $200,000 home, I don't have to come up with the $200,000. Why? Because the seller's going to take over the property. And I'll give you an example in a second where one of my students has a great $550,000 home, which is in Las Vegas, which is a mega mansion almost, because the average home over there is about 200. So a $500,000 home is a very nice, luxurious home. And the seller's willing to finance the house with only $1,000 down. Again, this is a beautiful home, doesn't need any repairs. The seller is not financially motivated, they're just emotionally motivated. The house is in beautiful, magnificent shape, and the seller's willing to just take $1,000 down and give him the house where he becomes the owner of the property by just getting the deed to one of the strategies that I teach at Mr. No Fluff. Okay. Now, before I forget to go any further, number one, guys, if you want to learn how to hire virtual assistants, okay, what is a virtual assistant? Someone that works for your company remotely in a third world country, and you just pay them, listen to this, 75 cents an hour. In other words, you pay them only $120 to work for you. Check this out, 8 hours a day, 40-hour weeks. Okay, if you're interested in how to do this, I've been doing this for over 20 years with virtual assistants. I call them VAs. Then my advanced course is a top selling course at Mr. No Fluff. Okay, normally it's an 8 hour course. Advanced, I give you the manuals, I give you the job tasks, I give you the contracts you need to have these VAs work for you. It's a complete solution course. Like I said, it's a 8 hour course. Normally it's $1,500. Right now I'm having a flash sale for $325. I believe I only have two left at this price. Okay, MrNoFluff.com. Don't wait around. Go up there and check it out. The other thing I wanted to talk about before we get back to the subject is that my profit sharing. Guys, if you guys are new and you want to do real estate deals, stop kidding yourself. Stop going to YouTube channels and Facebooks and blogs and forums, etc. If you want to actually roll up your sleeve and do a deal, profit sharing is where it's at, where I actually hold your hand and show you step by step what tools you got to need, what you got to do to get a deal. Just a few minutes ago, I told you my student has two deals. The guy has just started with my profit sharing coaching. He's already given 17 offers. All of these offers, he spends $0 in marketing because he used some of my systems that I provide you guys when you join my profit sharing. 17 offers. Out of the 17 offers, two of them are highly motivated. One is a $550,000 home that the seller is willing to just let him with $1,000 take over this beautiful home because he doesn't live there. This is his second home. He has a business. Guy's successful. He just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. And the other one is an $880,000 home. Again, beautiful home. This is a mega mansion. Successful attorney just wants to get rid of it because he's tired retiring. He's been trying to sell the house for a year. So this is another situation where my student could get two beautifully gorgeous homes without having $500,000, without having 880,000. You could turn around, put it on a contract, and wholesale it and make some money, or you could turn around, buy it for himself, and move into the property, just putting $1,000 down. That's it. That's it, dude. I mean, if you were going with FHA, you would have to put 3.5% down. Imagine how much that is on a $500,000 home. Here, just $1,000. So, anyways, guys, what am I saying? Profit sharing is where I help you do deals, guys, in your backyard, and usually without spending any money, just sweat equity. All right, let's get back to the story, which is how to buy rental properties. Two ways to do it: the Mr. Investor way or the Mr. No Fluff way, which I don't use banks, I don't use my capital, and I don't use my credit. I find motivated sellers and I work direct with them. Okay, it's as simple as that. I work direct with them and I'm able to create many different options, which I couldn't do traditionally. So the question is, what is the traditional way to buy a home? Okay, so there's two ways: traditional and the Mr. No Fluff. The traditional to buy a home is usually hire a real estate agent. Okay, if you're a retail, okay, or even if you're an investor, you hire a real estate agent, and then you go make offers on MLS deals, HUD deals, foreclosure deals, etc. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, then the other way is you go to, well, let's just talk about the first one. Now, the first way was you hire a real estate agent and you make offers on HUD or foreclosures or on MLS. Now, once you get a deal, the next step traditionally is to go get a lending, okay, which is go get into debt, all right, for your property, all right, or you pay cash for it. Now, the other option is if you're a little bit more advanced, you don't hire real estate agents and you don't just go look on the MLS and give offers. Hopefully, one thing will stick. That's not a really smart way to do it. Then you go to the foreclosure auction. Okay. Now, the foreclosure auction is a lot better than the MLS, but there's a bunch of dudes standing there and girls. They all have their money in their pocket, ready to buy a property. I don't like that strategy, but that's a little bit more advanced. Okay. The downside is you need to have all the cash. I mean, you can't even use credit. You can't even use hard money lending. Another option is that some of you guys are even a little bit more advanced, and you guys get the called the pre-foreclosure list, where the buyer or the borrower is in default. The bank has given them acceleration notice, and now they're going to auction it off in 22 days or 30 days, depends on what part of the country it is, etc. Usually in 30 days or less, they're going to auction it off. Now, the ones that are more advanced, they're sending out yellow little cars to these people, or they're not door knocking to these people. Okay, so we have, I just told you, 3 different levels, but the Mr. Investor way is the 4th level. Okay, and I'll talk about it in just a second. So let's talk about the first one, MLS investors, and that's what the retail are. I don't use this strategy. The next level is the foreclosure auction. I don't use this strategy either. I got too many people sitting there. The next level is, guess what? The pre-foreclosure, where they get their borrower gets their 30-day notice, and then the house is going to be auctioned off. And now there's a lot of people that are door knocking, a lot of people that are sending out yellow cars to these people to buy their house as a rental property. I don't do that either. Okay, the way I do it is a step above that. I catch these guys before the bank sends them the letter, says, "Hey, we're going to auction off your home, dude." I'm up here, so you have me up here. Then you got the guys that go to the REI clubs and buy the list, and then the auctioneers. Then you guys got the MLS guys that think they're the shit, but they're just just getting whatever's left over. Now, I don't like the MLS. I don't like the auction, nor do I like to get a list and compete with so many other people with a yellow letter. It's just I don't like to do stuff like that because it's going to cost me a lot of money, too much competition. I don't want to fish at a pond where there's hundreds of people there. I want to fish somewhere where I'm the only one there. Now, it took me a while to track that and find that pawn, but once I set it up, I'm one of the only guys there, unless you're in my profit sharing and I show you and I share that with you guys. Okay. Now, why don't I like the traditional way? Three reasons. One, too much fucking competition, dude. I don't want to this. I don't want to fight with on the MLS level. I don't want to fight with retail people that want to buy this home, make it their dream home. I don't want to do that. Nor do I want to deal with investors that think they're the hot shit on the MLS and they're overbidding. I don't want to deal with that. The reasons I don't want to deal with the auction, the level two, is I don't want to go stand there, without seeing the property fully, without going inside of it, and just throw a bunch of money down. Okay, and then there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, like the title, and it's a lot of stuff I got to do. And in worst case, there's too much competition. That's the primary reason. There's so many people there just bidding on that property. I don't want to buy a house like that. It's too much competition. And the third way, again, I don't want to do that because there's so much competition. There's all these REI clubs. There's all these seminars that talks about getting the foreclosure list, sending them yellow letters, going knocking on doors. So that's what everyone is teaching, that crap. So do you think I want to wait in line with everyone else? No, dude. That's why majority of people fail. So what I like to do is the one that no one's doing, because you have to learn how to market, you have to learn how to talk to sellers, you have to learn how to build rapport, you got to learn how to give offers, you got to learn all these different strategies, right? But it does build calluses. Therefore, when I grip, I'm not gonna let go. Okay, so and the profits are there is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so the reason I don't do traditional is too much competition. I got to come up with all the cash, too much competition, and too much competition, and then too much competition. The reason I like the Mr. No Fluff way is because there's very little competition, because it doesn't matter what the ball is. Let's say I meet a motivated seller to have no equity. I know how to structure that deal. I meet a motivated seller to have negative equity. I know how to structure that deal. I meet a motivated seller that own their house fully and clear. I know how to structure that deal. I meet a seller that has, high equity. No problem. I know how to structure that deal. Okay. And if you want to learn how to hit 9 out of 10 balls, then you definitely need to join my profit sharing guys at mrnofluff.com. I only got a few more seats available before I close it up, guys. Okay. Now, simply put, to summarize, there's two ways to buy rental properties. The traditional, which requires you to get a real estate agent. You got to come with all the capital to buy it, or you got to have good credit, and you got to definitely pick a lot of bankers or hard money lenders or other people. Okay. The untraditional way, which is, hey, I don't use credit. I don't use all my money. I just deal with motivated sellers direct, and the sky's the limit, dude. Whatever I can create. If I meet a seller that have X and Y problem, then I give that solution. If I meet another seller that have one or two problem, I give them the one or two problem. If I meet a seller that has ABC problems, then I give them the ABC solutions. So it's always changing. That's why I like about it. I can't do the same shit every day like assembly worker, manufacturer. Okay. Guys, if you have any questions, leave me a comment. Go ahead and click the like button. Um, Andy Mike, he says, "What's up, Mike? This is your student Todd. Hey, what's going on, Todd? Thanks for coming in. Thanks so much for all your help so far. I'm learning a lot in only a few weeks. Learning step by step how to take action. Thanks, Todd. Thanks for watching. Yeah, Todd's one of my profit sharing students. And guys, this is the thing, guys. Most of my students that come into the program, if they take action, they're gonna do a deal really quick, because what I do is I clear the clutter, right? I know how to simplify. There's so many things you can learn under the moon and the stars, but doesn't mean you're going to catch a fish. And what I know is how to catch the fish. And that's what I do. I declutter everything. I tell you exactly do this, and it works. And you do this and you get some results, and you're like, oh shit, it works. Then you want to do step number 2. Then you do step number 2, and it works. Like, oh shit, then you want to do step number 3. So I don't just throw a bunch of stuff. I just give you a little action plan. You get action, you take action, you get success. It pumps you up, makes you feel more confident. You take action number 2, and so on, guys. Like Todd said, they just joined in. Ken just joined in, and Ken already has a couple of deals. Another student of mine, Mac, he's going to talk to a deal hopefully today, man. We had a meeting this Saturday. Mac was telling me about a deal that he got. The deal is like roughly about $100,000. The seller told him over the phone, hey, you could get it for like $69,000 without any negotiation. And so right off the bat, I'm like, hey man, sounds like a motivated seller. Drop what you're doing and go over there because you can negotiate down. The seller was super motivated. She owned two houses. The house is clear and clear. She has health problems. She has a situation, with her dogs because they don't allow it. So highly motivated seller, and his offer for cash was $47,000. So $47,000, you know, uh, she told him right off the phone she could take 69,000 and some change. So, and the house is worth 100, roughly 100. So you can think right off the bat has equity. Now he can go over there and then build report and get it for 47, or do some kind of term offering where he gives the seller $1,000 or a couple $100, and he just becomes the owner of the property, dude. No banks involved at all. Amazing. Like this property that Ken got is amazing, beautiful property, guys. These are the properties that you want to live in yourself. They're so nice. Thanks for leaving that comment, Todd. I think this is Ken right here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this works. I have been with Mike for a couple of weeks, and we're constantly finding motivated sellers and giving offers. Hey, Ken, thanks for watching in. That's right. This is the guy I'm talking about, guys. He just came in. You know, we're not talking about so many different stuff like how to learn all this I just tell them how to go from step number one, step number two, step number three. If you're at step number one, we're not talking about step number 10, number 11, because again, what happens is too much thinking comes with no action. So what you're thinking, and you say, what if this happens? You go here, start thinking, what if this happens? What if this happens? And before you know, you're just thinking, 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 and you're never doing deals. And so the goal is to eliminate all that learning. You learn just like a piano artist learns. You learn how a martial artist learns through practice versus just a bunch of books, just like the school colleges where someone's sitting there writing on a bulletin board. I don't teach at the dojo. That's why we're called the dojo. Thanks, Ken, for leaving a comment, man. I appreciate you guys. So, guys, if you're not into profit sharing, you're really missing out. Ken's on there on the live chat right now. You could ask him. I never met the guy. He's in, I think, if I'm not mistaken, New Jersey. Tom is in, I believe, in New Jersey as well. Let's see what else is it. Mix Hip. I dig and appreciate you, brother. Hey, appreciate you too, man. Okay, so this other gentleman, Mix Hip, he says he's in a rental now. Hope to buy something soon. That's a very, very good way, guys. When I first started in real estate investing, that was 2006 fourth quarter. I knew the crash was going to come. 2007, boom, the crash hit, and guess what? I wanted to buy something, and I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I was living in a rental property. Now I was living in a really nice, throwing the money away. I had successful business, and I thought I was living it up. But I knew this is a time to get in real estate. Okay. Before I didn't want to buy because price was just out of the screen. Even though I didn't know shit about real estate, I knew that we were in a bubble. Okay. So when the crash hit, my very first deal was a home that I bought for myself to live in. Okay, so again, my very first deal was, I said, I thought this stuff doesn't work. I thought who in their right mind will sell me their home that's worth 100 for 47,000? Who would do that? Or who in their right mind would allow me just to take over their payment? I didn't believe it, right? But just like my student Ken, and I posted a video about it, I was I thought this doesn't work, dude. This is not going to work. But here's the thing: I was willing to put my foot in the water and test it out before I said, you know what, this doesn't work. Just kind of like Ken did. Okay, the difference between me and many other people, or me and Ken were similar, is because even though we doubted, we're willing to put our foot into the water and test it out. Once we tested out, we saw some results, then we took more action. Most people just say no, it doesn't work, and their lazy ass doesn't ever do anything because it just doesn't work. They know everything. Where I'm still ignorant, and I'm like, hey, it may work. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't, but let me just try it, okay? And when I try it, I try not to be negative. Say, hey, I'm gonna say it's gonna work. Like, I'm gonna work. It's gonna work. And I really don't know, but I'm going into it believing that it's gonna work. So the very first deal I got was my own personal home. It was a 2-story, a brand new home. It had a swimming pool. It was upgraded. The grounds were upgraded. Floors were upgraded. I didn't have to put any money into the property. And all I did is just take over the seller's payment, dude. And the seller was like two payments. By the time I closed, was like almost 3 payments behind, which is like roughly $3,000 with closing costs and everything. So $3,000 for me to own this property. Now, let me remind you, that same property, okay, let's say you rented it for $1,500. Well, if I wanted to rent this property, I would have to put the first month down, which is $1,500, and I would have to put a security deposit, which is $1,500. So I would have to put $3,000 down. Now, I have to put $3,000 down just to rent. Now I put $3,000 down, and I have the deed in my name. So I own the sucker. And guess what? I didn't have to get a loan at it. Once I did the very first deal, that's what I thought, that, man, America surely is a great country, man. And I'm so glad my parents brought me here because, again, my parents are illiterate. My dad sells ice cream in an ice cream truck, and my mom cut hair. So it's like I couldn't go for advice to them. So I just did it through trial and error, guys. All right. But once the first deal hit, I was like, man, there's no stopping me. And that's when I went and bought as many deals that I could. Now, in the last crash, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was scared. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. No one in my house owned rental properties. No one in my family ever had rental property. I'm the first guy in my family ever, in all my families, to have a college degree. So I was like, man, and I was scared. So there was so many deals that I should have bought, but I was scared. But this time, I learned my lesson. I was able to hold on to these properties and easily equity cash out over 100K of each property, or close to 100K, plus the monthly income. When you add that up over 6-7 years, you add meant over 100,000 per deal, and I only put $3,000 in. So it's just kind of like no brainer. So this crash, I'm not going to be scared like I was last time, and I'm going to just pick as many as I can all over America. That's why I created the profit sharing, because I want to buy properties in your backyard, guys. Okay. I mean, I'm crazy not to. I mean, like, for $1,000 down, I could buy a $500,000 home. Oh man, and let's say closing is another $1,500. Okay. Of course, I'm not gonna pay for title policy on a $500,000 home. That'd be $5,000. But I'll look at the title chain and make sure it's good. But you know, I would think $1,000 for closing, $1,000 to a seller. Man, that's a great deal. I mean, like, it's not the best deal. It's not a home run deal, but it's a great deal to get into rental property. It's a real great way to get into the business without me personally signing a personally note to the Bank of America or Wells Fargo, where, if I default, not only can they get the collateral, but they also come after me. In this situation, I'm going to put up what's called a non-recourse loan. So when I buy the property, if I default, which I'm not going to, but if I ever do, then the seller could only collect the collateral. They cannot come after me. So there's a lot of benefits of working with sellers direct, the Mr. No Fluff way versus the traditional way, guys. So go ahead and click the like button. Let me know what state you're in from, guys. But like Mix Hip said, man, if you're in a rental property, the very first thing that I did when I was in a rental property and I wanted to buy a house is try this strategies for my own personal home. And then once I got my own personal home, then I got into rental properties the same exact way. I've never borrowed any money from any lender, banker, or hard money to ever do a deal. I've only worked with homeowners direct. I mean, creativity, guys, is so powerful. And start where you stand, dude. It's just whatever. I can't speak, can't write, but here we go. I'm changing lives, and that's what it's about, dude. All right. Nice. Houston's in Texas. Kenneth is in New York. And MD, I think that's Minnesota. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Click the like button. Share this message. Remember, passive income allows you to exit the metrics. Debt only makes you a slave. Okay, and you don't want to be a slave, dude. You rather be free. Work for yourself. Create your own dreams. What's in here, bring it out, because they pay big dividends. Doesn't matter if you want to make just $5,000 a month. If you want to make $500,000 a month, it's way more than a paycheck, guys. Peace, guys.